Hello everybody, welcome back here with Muse Paint Bar to teach you Wreaths at Sunset. A very beautiful painting for everybody of all ages. So let's get started. I have all my materials here in front of me, my 8x10 canvas panel, some paper towels to dry off my brushes, a can of water, you can use a cup, a bowl, Tupperware, whatever it may be, some paper plates to mix up my paint with, and then I have a paint palette of just red, yellow, black, and white. You only need about 3 different types of brushes for this painting. Technically, actually only 2. At least 1 type of pointy brush and 1 type of flat brush. The bigger the brush, honestly, the better for this painting. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna be mixing up our main background color first. So let's grab a mixing plate and a big brush, dry it off. We're gonna go ahead and mix up a pale yellow with a scoop of white and a scoop of yellow. I'm gonna mix those up. And once you have your color mixed up, you can actually fill in your entire canvas with this color. The trick to getting a very smooth application is to work from side to side, from one edge of your canvas to the other. If you like a little bit more texture to your canvas, you can always do tiny brush strokes instead of these long ones. All right, looking great. Now we want to add all of our pale yellows, oranges, reds, all of that fun stuff. I'm going to be taking a clean flat brush and we're going to be getting into some white paint. On the top left of our canvas, we're going to sweep our brush from left to right only. We're not going to go back and forth. So we're going to sweep from left to right, pick it up, and we're going to keep working like that. It's going to mix with that yellow and you're going to get something a little bit more pale here in this top corner, and that's what you want. If it looks just plain white, try and get a little bit of yellow paint on your brush to help get it to that banana cream type of color. Next up, we're going to go ahead and mix up an orange. So I'm going to take a scoop of yellow, add it to my pale yellow, and a tiny touch of red, and I'm going to mix those up. Feel free to play with your yellow and red until you get a shade that you're happy with. I'm thinking like a tangerine type of orange. Cool. So next we are going to be doing the same technique, but this time we're going to be working from the right side over to the left only. Now, I want you to start off by finding the center of your canvas and doing a line all the way across. Whoop. Perfect. This will be your longest line that you make. Every other line is going to be a little bit shorter than that. So I'm going to start by making some of these lines. And you can see that some are going to be longer than others. They don't need to all be the same length. You want them to be nice and staggered, meaning that they're all differently sized in length. Okay, we're getting there. Next color in our background is going to be straight red paint. I'm going to take some red, and we're going to be adding this same exact way, just making sure we don't go too far because we want to see some orange here on this edge. Swishing it in. All right, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. We're gonna add one more color, and I'm actually gonna switch to a slightly smaller flat brush. We're gonna be making a darker red, something like a maroon, taking a little bit of red and a very, very small touch of black. And we're just gonna throw this in a couple of areas, more towards the bottom and right here in the middle. Still go ahead and switch from one direction here. All right, our background is complete. Now before we do anything else to our canvas, we do need to let it dry. Give yourself about 10 to 15 minutes to let your background dry, and then we'll get to all of the reeds and the birds. Wonderful. Once your painting is dry, we're going to draw in all of the reeds. We're going to be using a very thin pointy brush and taking our time to make sure we make really thin lines. All right, pointy brush, and we're getting into black paint. I like to twirl my paintbrush on the edge of my paint to make sure it gets nice and pointy. And I'm going to start with my tallest reeds first. So I have one that's all the way up here in my pale yellow. I'm going to very lightly touch my canvas and then pull my hand down towards the bottom. If you have a hard time keeping your hand steady, this is where having a dry canvas really comes in handy. You can have your hand resting on your canvas and drag it down as you paint. All right, let's find another one. I have one that's over here in my yellow. I'm going to start here and I'm going to curve it in a different direction. So you can see some of my reeds are going to cross over with one another. Some are going to be a little bit thicker than others. None of them are going to be exactly the same. I'm going to show you an example of some of the shorter reeds. I have this one that's kind of curving over here. Some really short ones. All right, now that you have the basic idea of your reeds, I'm going to let you go at it. Feel free to make as many or as few of these as you like. Okay, now that our reeds are done, we're going to go ahead and paint in some birds while we let that dry. For our birds, I want you to think of them as letter V's or M's, mostly V's. So I'll show you an example here. Just going to draw a nice V. Bird number one. Some birds are going to be a little bit smaller than others. Some are going to have longer wings than others. Some can be flying in different directions. It's really up to you what your flock of birds are doing. Looking gorgeous. We have one last final step, and that is to add the highlights into our reeds. I'm going to be mixing up a pale yellow with a scoop of white and a tiny touch of yellow with a small pointy brush. We are going to be adding a couple of highlights in just a few of these wreaths, preferably in the areas where a lot of them are clustered together and you want some of them to stand out more, as if they're in front of the others. I'm going to put a little highlight here on this one. I'm using very, very light pressure. And that's it, we've completed our painting. If you would like to sign your painting at the end, most people sign it in the bottom corner, but you're more than welcome to sign it wherever you wish. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and we would love to see how your paintings turned out. You can post them in the comments below or you can post them on social media and tag us at Mies Paint Bar. If you want to see more from us, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel and we'll see you again next time.